still being done, even if I do use sunblock. So you have to take all those things into account.
Right. Here's somebody asked, what can we do about chemo brain, short-term memory being dramatically affected, I guess, by chemo?
Again, I would refer to antioxidants and arginine. One of the reasons that chemotherapy works is that it creates free radicals. And you want to fight the cancer, but you don't want to fight the normal tissue. Again, you want to optimize the systems for the normal tissues, and antioxidants are going to be your best bet. And I wouldn't use just vitamin C or just vitamin E. Again, I would go for these, multi-spectrum, like the extracts, grapeseed extract, or the super juices, goji, acai, mangosteen, any of those things. And you can even buy like the pomegranate juice, blueberry juice that you would get from some of these whole food stores are great combinations. If you juice yourself, dark green leafy vegetables, carrots, they're very, very, very helpful for the body.
Okay. Somebody says, I am getting MSG from eating 2 to 3 tablespoons of nutritional yeast on most days. I read that glutathione is made from glutamate. Is this true or not?
Glutathione is made from 3 different things. Glutamate is the only one that I can think of right now.
Okay.
And so was there another part to the question?
No, that was it. I was just wondering if that was true.
I am pretty sure it might be pretty easy to look up. Is my screen still showing, or did you take the screen back?
It's still showing.
Why don't you take the screen back and let me look at that? That one might be pretty easy to answer.
Okay. Hey, David, can we show your screen?
Sure. Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Ah!
Oh,
Oh no! What's that?
Okay.
Okay, I'll ask you another one while you're looking it up. Does or can consuming L-glutamate within an hour after physical exercise in a protein drink cause an unusual drop in energy level, so much so that a person becomes extremely tired, lethargic, and unable to do anything but sleep?
Well, I mean, you can say that one is associated with the other, but I don't know that we can say that that's necessarily the cause. And they were saying they're concerned that it was the glutamate that's in it.
The L-glutamate.
Glutamate is actually, that's one of the excitatory ones. So I wouldn't blame that one. I might look for sweeteners. If it's artificial sweeteners, I might blame the artificialness. And if it turns out to have a lot of carbohydrate in addition to the protein, you may be looking at a crash kind of situation. But I don't know that you can say it's because of the glutamate.
Right.
Here we go. Glutathione is synthesized from, potentially, cysteine, glutamic acid, which is just the acid form of glutamate, and glycine.
Okay.
So the answer was true.
Good. You mentioned protein all throughout the webinar, but when we got to carbs, there's obviously better carbs than other ones. With protein, does it make much difference the type of protein that you get as far as all of the amino acids and the benefits that we need?
Well, I think the key is if someone's a vegetarian, they have to make sure that they're getting, very much varying as much as they possibly can the different kinds of protein that they get. Your protein sources for vegetarians are going to be basically legumes or beans and your grains, and and some of the nuts. And so the more varied those are, the better they're going to be. For meat eaters, again, you're going to want to vary things, but I just think it's easier to get a good spread if you're eating meat. And I'm not maligning vegetarianism. I'm just saying it's not as complicated. I don't think it takes as much work.
Mhm.
Okay. Go ahead, Sherry.
What are amino acid supplements made of?
I guess what they're asking is what is the source for the amino acids. Most commonly it's going to be plant-based, soybean or something like that, and actually usually non-GMO soybean, as a matter of fact, because the cheapest soybeans tends to come from overseas, as I understand it. So it tends to be plant-based. You don't have to worry typically about it coming from an animal. It's just so much cheaper for the plants. I mean, the plants are out there and they grow and they make their little beans, and then they just extract the amino acids from it. Animal care is finishing an animal is actually pretty expensive. That's why meat is so expensive. And I'm thinking that's what they asked. If they had a different question, maybe they'll email back in or chat back in.
The question about chemo brain.
Yes.
Yeah, we asked that already.
Okay. All right. Okay.
They did mention that the doctor that was researching the iodine was David Brownstein.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds right.
And folks, some of you typed in asking if this will be on DVD and all that. Well, depending on your request, because we have to actually pay in bulk, we have to pay up front. So depending on the number of requests coming in, we'll decide whether or not to make a DVD out of it. So if you would like to have DVDs, please let us know by email, and then we can judge based on the requests whether or not to make a DVD from it. However, the video downloads, the MP3s, the slides, and the other forms of this lecture will be out in a couple of days. And of course, remember again, if you're a member, you already have access to these for free, since it's released in the last 30 days. So, okay, well, great. I think this pretty much covers. Okay, here's one. Can a person with LCIS breast cancer stage 0 turn that around without surgery or radiation and chemo?
So that was lobular, not lobar, that's silly, lobular carcinoma in situ. Stage 0, well, I haven't had to think about lobular carcinoma in situ for a long time. With ductal carcinoma in situ, the carcinoma in situ is actually letting us know that that's a risk. I guess I wouldn't say with nutrition alone, although there are plenty of examples of people changing their cancer situation with almost exclusively with their attitude, or altering, their attitude and changing their lifestyle and diet to be a whole food. And I'm not saying anybody has a bad attitude. For example, the question, what was it? Wasn't it Norman Vincent Peale? Wasn't he the first one?
The power of positive thinking.
Yes, and wasn't it he himself who in his hotel room had just watched funny movies for?
Oh no, that was what's his name? Norman Cousins.
Cousins, that's who I'm trying to think of. I think you should check in a Norman Cousins book.
Anatomy of an Illness. Fantastic
That's it,
book.
Anatomy of an Illness. Oh, it's a good thing you're here to help me. I need more arginine or something. More sleep. That's it. Yes, the Anatomy of an Illness. And that actually chronicles a story of how someone overcame their own actually terminal and hopeless situation. It wasn't even a situation where there was some treatment offered.
Yeah.
But actually just changed it and said, look, you know what? I'm going to take the stress out of my life. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to laugh, and came out the other side with disease completely gone.
Absolutely, and lived 25 years longer than the doctors had given him. All right, why would a person have extremely high copper levels but normal zinc levels? I guess that's a genetic problem, huh?
Why would they have high copper and low zinc?
Yeah, is that like Wilson's disease?
No, well, actually, Wilson's is going to be a storage problem. The problem comes down to, and I don't have the pathway in front of me, but it's pretty clear. Because your body is using zinc up, it's using it. It's getting excreted. It's constantly going out of your system, if it's not being replaced properly, and there's this copper imbalance, excuse me, like I said, I don't remember the pathway specifically, but you could imagine just it's almost like a positive, it's called a positive feedback loop, because there's less zinc, which somehow drives the copper excess, and this copper excess actually drives the zinc to be excreted from the body. So it's one of those things that can be completely out of balance with no trouble at all. So it's rare for anything to happen the other way. You usually don't see any zinc excess and copper deficient. It's not usually what you see. You usually see it too much copper and not enough zinc. And so the answer there is supplement zinc, supplement zinc, supplement zinc, and let the copper take care of itself. It will slowly, you see that zinc deficiency isn't driving the copper excess anymore. So the copper level slowly comes back down again. Maybe we can look into that next week. I have a sneaking suspicion I'll be looking that one up. So I will have the pathway in front of me.
Great. Well, I guess that pretty much does it for tonight. And thank you again, Dr. Owings.
Okay, thank you.
And we'll see you next week, right?
Yes.
Thursday. All right.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
There you go. There you go. Folks, thanks for joining us. And join us again on Tuesday for Dr. Dolan's presentation on autism, and then on Thursday for Dr. Owings's. All right. You have a good night, and God bless.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.